I'm Jill with thecarefreekitchen.com, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my recipe for oven roasted chicken and potatoes. This chicken recipe is loaded with flavor, it's super easy, and everyone loves it. Before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow me on social media, and I'll show you all kinds of fun and easy recipes that your family will love. Okay, so to get started on this chicken, the first thing you're going to do is tie up the legs. Let me show you how. So the first thing you want to do is you actually want to take out the giblet or anything in the cavity here, and you can use those in a soup or a stew. All right, we got that out. Okay, and then I like to just cut up a little part of a lemon and pop that in there. I think it gives it so much flavor, keeps it nice and moist and juicy. And then on our legs, I'm just gonna cross them over like this. And then I just have a little bit of string here. Really, whatever you have on hand is great. I'm just gonna tie those up so that our chicken is really moist and tender and cooks evenly. All right, and then here are your wings, and we're just going to tuck that little part in on both sides so that it doesn't burn. All right, we are going to preheat our oven to about 400 degrees. To make the butter that's gonna go on the top, the nice seasoning mix, I have some sprigs of thyme, and I'm just gonna pull the leaves off. You kind of go against how the leaves are on. So for example, like this is the tip, this is the end. Just start at the tip and pull your way down. And we need a couple of teaspoons of thyme. Then we also need some rosemary. And same with that, you just kind of pull it down off of its stem here. Okay, and now I'm just gonna use a knife and just chop this up finely. If you do find a little bit of like woody sticks in there, just pull them out as you go here. And just give that a nice little chop. And I don't have any sage on hand, so if you have sage, use some fresh sage too. I'm gonna add a little bit of sage powder to my compound butter here. Alrighty, so now I'm just gonna pick that up with my knife here and put it right into my bowl. And I'm also going to add about 6 tablespoons of butter. And this is room temperature butter is best. And then a couple tablespoons of minced garlic. About a teaspoon of onion powder. About a half a teaspoon of sage. And now I'll just use the spoon to kind of mash this all together. And here we go. And to apply the herb crusted topping, what I'm going to do is just use a paper towel and dry off the top of the chicken, any excess moisture. And this will allow my butter to kind of stick to the top of the chicken. There we go. Okay, and then before I put the butter on top of it, I'm just going to salt my chicken here. So it's nice and seasoned. And actually, I'm gonna turn it over here and salt the underside as well. There we go. Now I'm gonna take my butter here, and it's room temperature, so it's pretty soft. And I'm just going to lay it right here on top. There we go. All right, and this part is a little bit messy, but I just want to cover the top here and any sides with my butter. And this makes the skin so crispy and just has like this layer of flavor on the outside. It's even better than any rotisserie chicken in the bakery. All right, that is pretty good. And to get started on the vegetables, I'm just going to give my carrots a quick peel here. And you can certainly leave the skins on the carrots, but I don't know, they just look a little bit prettier if they are all peeled. And you know, pretty counts too. Okay, and then on the carrots, I'm just gonna cut the very ends off and then cut them into about 2-inch chunks. Alright, I'm just gonna put my carrots into a Ziploc bag. You could also put them in a bowl. We're just gonna toss them with a little bit of avocado oil and season them up just a little bit too. These are russet potatoes. I'm using a couple different kinds of potatoes because that's what I have on hand, and pretty much any kind will do. You can use baby potatoes, fingerling potatoes, or all russet, whatever you have on hand. And I'm just gonna rinse my potatoes. Okay, so my potatoes I want into about, I don't know, 1 or 2-inch chunks, maybe 1.5. You know, I don't want them that too small because they are going to be cooking for a while. Okay, and then put them into this bag. Okay, and then I'm also going to cut up an onion. You can use a white onion or a yellow onion in this recipe, and the onion is mostly just to keep some moisture, and then also it makes some amazing gravy. So the drippings on this are so yummy. And I'm not gonna cut those very small either, just kind of quarter those halves. Okay, and then I also have some red potatoes, and I am not even gonna take the skins off of these. They are perfect just the way they are. There we go. Right in there with all of our carrots and onions. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some avocado oil, and I'll probably add maybe 3 tablespoons, maybe 4 tablespoons. I'm also going to add about a tablespoon and a half of minced garlic. All right, and then we'll zip this up and just roll it around. Okay, and then one last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some pepper on our vegetables, and then maybe a teaspoon of salt, teaspoon and a half of salt. And then again, just toss them all around and coat all of them. Okay, and then for the chicken, we're gonna put our vegetables on there, and I'm just gonna pour them kind of all around the sides. And maybe I have too many potatoes. I might keep a few of those potatoes out or put them in a separate dish to roast. You don't want it to be too full, but you can put all of these vegetables around the sides. Okay, now we're gonna bake this in a preheated 400-degree oven for about an hour to an hour and a half. All right, here is my herb-crusted, oven-roasted whole chicken and potatoes. The skin is golden to a crisp. There's this nice little bit of herb crusting on top of there. And all the potatoes are roasted with the carrots and the onions. Oh, it looks amazing. Okay, now we're gonna cut into this and take a look and see what this looks like inside. Ooh, look at that nice herb crusted topping right there. Ooh, and it's tender and juicy. It looks amazing. And then, of course, our delicious carrots and potatoes. And then we'll add a little bit of those drippings. This is a perfect weekend or family meal. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Carefree Kitchen. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow me here, and I will show you all kinds of fun and easy recipes that your family will love. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.